Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Dana. Today I'm going to be sharing a fun card made with this cute stamp set from Pajama Crafter Stamps. This is called Sliding By. So to start off this card, I'm just going to make a simple alcohol ink background. So I put a little bit of the alcohol blending solution on this piece of Dura-Bright, and then I'm just going to drop on a few different colors of alcohol ink. You can use whatever colors you want. I'm just using some blues, and then I'm also going to go in with a pearl. And I've already shaken this, but with the pearls or anything with any kind of pigment in it, you want to make sure that you shake it. Now this I haven't used in a while, so it might be clogged. Even that looks pretty cool. Okay, oh, there we go. Now we're moving. I'm just going to grab my little puffer tool and just move that around where I want it. And if it starts drying on you, you can always go back in with some blending solution. And with this in particular paper, it's not paper, it's more of a plastic surface. If you don't like what you do, you can always just spray it down with some rubbing alcohol and then wipe it off and it'll be like new. So I'm just going to re-wet some areas with some of the blending solution here. I really want this like a mottled looking background, so I'm fine if the colors kind of dilute a little bit. I'm going to add some more of this. This is turquoise. And then some more of the darker blue in places. And I'm not really worried about the center, just because that's going to be covered up with the focal images. And this is just a bit of rubbing alcohol. I just want to put it along these edges a little bit just to get the alcohol ink to move a bit more since I don't have any pearl there. There we go. And then I think I'm just going to add just a little bit more pearl around the edges. We're getting clogged again. I'll have to do some work on my little pearl bottle there. There we go. I like that, so I'm just going to set this aside to dry and have a bit of a cleanup, and then we will be back for the next step. Okay, while the background is drying, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out my images. I grabbed all of the cute little penguin stamps and then the trees from the Sledding by Stamp set. And I'm just going to ink those up in a alcohol marker friendly ink. Now the markers that I'm going to be using are called Ohus. I can never say the name of them. But I found that the only ink that I've tried a couple, but I found that the only ink that really works with them is the Memento. So just a tip, if you have those markers versus the Copics, that's a good ink to use with them. Yeah, I'm going to double stamp these. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and color these off camera. I'm not one to color on camera. I have to have my nose like 3 centimeters away from whatever I'm coloring when I'm coloring. So all y'all would see is the back of my head. So I'm going to color these, cut them out, and then I will be back to assemble the card. All right, so the background is dry now, so I'm going to go ahead and assemble the card. So I just trimmed this down to a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to go ahead and mat it on just some black cardstock. There we go. And then I created this little scene using some arch dies and then some of those like hill dies. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to glue this on flat. This is the back layer. And then I'm just gluing this on. This is actually Dura-Lar matte, but you can always use vellum. The difference between vellum and this is more of a plastic and it's a little bit more sturdy, but you could very easily use vellum for this. And then the next bits I am going to put on some foam, but I think I want to add my little decorations first. So I ended up stamping and cutting out the trees twice. And then I just picked this cute little sledding penguin for my main focal image. And then the little hills that I cut out are actually out of some shimmer cardstock. I thought that would mimic snow quite nicely. So I'm just going to pop these up on the half strength foam squares, the half thick ones. I'm going to do the same thing for this little piece. Here we go. And then my cute little penguin, I am actually going to put him on an action wobbler. But I just realized I need to grab it, so I will be back. Okay, found my wobblers finally. So I'm just going to take the sticky off of there and pop it. Let me do this down where y'all can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to put it in the center. And then I just like to do the more solid piece on the back of my image, and then the piece with the hole in it, I actually adhere to the project. Just preference. I really don't think there's any right or wrong way to do this. Now I am going to pick this up so I can see what I'm doing, because I want to add it so that the action wobbler isn't going off of my little hill there, just so he's not that wonky. But there we go. Cute little sledding penguin. And then this piece I'm just going to glue with liquid glue down to my card panel. You could pop this up on some foam if you wanted to. But with that action wobbler, it's already got enough bulk, I think. I'm debating splatter. Nope. We will go splatterless for this card, which is unusual for me. And let's see, do I want to add a sentiment? I wasn't sure, so I wanted to wait until I got everything put together. But there is this cute little sentiment in here that says sliding by to say hi. And of course it'll work great for this. Maybe right there. I like keeping odd numbers, so if I add a sentiment, I'm going to have to add something else. So I think I'm going to forego a sentiment. I actually don't use sentiments a lot on my cards. So yeah, I'm going to forego a sentiment, and I'm going to try and get this a little straight. I just realized that is real wonky. Okay. There we go. That's better. And there we go. Here is the finished card project for today using the sliding by stamp set from Pajama Crafter Stamps. If you're interested in any of these supplies, there is a full supply list in the description box down below. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope I see you in the next one.